Okay, hello grade sixes. Welcome to your English writing lesson. We are going to be going over activity 5, pages 22 to 25 in your English book. So activity 5, write a poem. Before writing, revise your knowledge about poetic language. In the table below, color code the matching meanings and their definitions. Okay, so please keep in mind that the way I'm going to read it is not the answers. Okay, I'm just going to be reading from left to right. So metaphor, repetition of consonant sounds. Personification, an inanimate object is given human characteristics. Simile, words represent particular sounds. Alliteration, words that sound similar. Rhyme, when one thing is another. Onomatopoeia, one thing is like or as another. Okay, so now I'm going to just quickly explain these figures of speech. So metaphor is when you directly compare two things. So you will say, for example, he is a monster. You are comparing him to a monster by calling him one. Then personification, that is when you give something that is not human, human-like qualities. For example, the snowflakes were dancing in the wind. We know that snowflakes cannot dance. So it's just because the wind was blowing that they were moving and it looked like they may have been dancing. Then a simile is comparing using like or as. Alliteration, excuse me, is when there's the repetition of a consonant sound at the beginning of a few words. For example, Callie calls cats to her house. The Callie calls cats, it's ka ka ka, so that is alliteration. Then rhyme is when two words have a similar ending, for example, mother and brother, or actually they have the same ending. And then onomatopoeia has to do with sounds. For example, bang, hiss, bark, meow. Okay, I hope that helps you guys with this activity a bit. Let's plan a poem. Choose a topic for your poem. Choose a topic that interests you, such as your favorite animal, your family, nature, the weather, or something that happened to you. Choose a central idea for your poem. What is the message you want your poem to give? So if you really love soccer, that would be the topic. And then the idea that you would be giving is that you love soccer. Okay, it's quite simple. They sort of go hand in hand. Let's do this. Okay, so write what poetic language you plan to use. So you need to write down the poetic devices such as metaphors, rhyming words, onomatopoeia, personification, alliteration, similes and adjectives that could be used in your poem to make it a more interesting read. Figures of speech do make poems and all writing a lot more interesting, so please try to use them in your poem. Then think about the kind of poem you would like to write. You may describe your feelings about something, your favorite animal, your family, nature, the weather, or something that has happened to you. But so you can choose any of these. Let's say that I still want to stick with soccer. Okay? And now earlier when I was talking about the figures of speech to use, you could say that you play like Ronaldo. That is a simile, and that's figurative language. So it can be something as simple as that to make your poem more interesting. Okay, now we're going to be doing planning. Plan your poem in detail on the next page. It is always useful to have a plan for your poem. Fill in as much as you can on the planning template. So you've got your topic, so that's what you're going to write about. So let me carry on using soccer as an example. I'm going to say soccer. My poetic language I'm going to use a simile because I'm going to say that I play like Ronaldo. I'm going to use a metaphor because I'm going to say that I am the new Messi. I am going to use alliteration because I am going to be talking about my singing soccer sweet friends. So my singing soccer sweet friends or whatever. So that's the S alliteration. Okay, good. And then I could even use some personification, saying how the ball flew towards the other person. That's personification because balls don't actually fly. Okay, good. Then the central idea. I'm letting everyone know how much I love soccer. The kind of poem I want to write, it is letting people know about what I love and about my passion. Okay, so that is what your planning is going to be like. Hopefully you go into a bit more detail though. Now you need to write your poem. So you need to write your first draft of the poem. Make sure that you use poetic language in your poem. Read the poem out loud to a friend to ensure that it has good rhythm. Okay, so you are only going to be writing your draft today, your first draft. That means that you are allowed to make mistakes. You are allowed to edit it. You are allowed to cross things out. Okay, so that is all we are going to be focusing on today. We will focus on our final another time. Okay, and that is the end of our presentation. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I'm so excited to read your guys' poems.